thank you very much, everyone, for coming today to this very rare opportunity of having live Hindustani classical music. And I thank very much to Amit Mishra for coming from so long to play with us today. So today we start now with a very short and succinct presentation about the basic concepts of Hindustani classical music, which are rag and tal, with the idea of hopefully helping those in the audience that are not familiar with this music tradition to better appreciate the concept that is coming later, and which is really what we are here for. So this concert and this event is happening within the framework of the Musical Bridges project, which is a project that we started 1 year ago with the idea of building computational tools for aiding people better understand the music traditions that we are working in our group, research group, the music technology group, including Hindustani classical music. So without much further ado, I just start. So rag and tal are the two more basic concepts in the appreciation of Hindustani classical music. In fact, for traditional performance of Hindustani classical music, they say that the goal of the performer is to convey the rag, to be able to express according to its fullest potential the rag that is being performed. At the same time, rag is the more difficult concept to explain and to grasp, but hopefully it has the help of tal for its development. So I will start with the concept of tal, and then I'll move on to the concept of rag. So tal is the concept that takes account for the rhythmic content of the performance. So I will use the tools that we have developed in the project to explain the concept. So I'll move to that here. Yeah, and I will illustrate the presentation. So you have this tool available online. I'll give the link later. We have these different tals there. I will illustrate the explanation of what tal is with the example of tin tal. So I'll select tin tal. So the very basic concept of tal is the rhythmic cycle. So the time is conceived in this performance as a cycle that always comes back to this point here in the middle. So it's building tension during the performance, and every time goes back to this point here, and the tension is released, and the cycle starts again. That every tal in both North Indian and South Indian classical music has this concept, the cyclic conception of time, and this point here where the music always comes back. And this point there is called the sum. So this is a key point in the music, and it's very related to the melody. When the melody is performed, when the rag is performed, there is a melodic motif from the bandish called the mukra that always happens around the sum. So sum is a key point in this cyclical conception of time. So this is common to all tals. Then specific tals subdivide this cycle into different points. So let's play here. In the case of tin tal, this cycle is divided into 16 points, let's say, right? So it takes these 16 beats until going back again to the sum. So these subdivisions of the cycle are called matra. So different tals in this tradition will have different numbers of matras. Yeah. So it's just a way of subdividing the cycle between two avartans, which is the Sanskrit word for cycle, between two cycles of the sum. So besides the subdivision into different matras, these matras are further grouped in different groups. Right? In here, in the case of tin tal, they are equal. They are 4 groups of 4 matras each. Right? And there is a traditional way of following the tal. In fact, the word tal means clap clapping. So the way of following the tal is to clap at the beginning of each of these groups. So for following tin tal, it would be ta, and back to a sound. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, back to the sound. That's right? So these groups are called vipak. Yeah? And different tals have different numbers of groups, and different groups can have different number of matras. So in the case of tin tal, it is 4 groups of 4 matras. So, more interestingly, and this is when tal becomes really interesting, is these groups have different qualities. So you see here, I changed the lines for circles to show these 2 different qualities. When the circle is filled, we call that vipak a tali. And when the circles are empty, we call the vipak a kali. Yeah, perhaps Amit could explain later what is the difference between tali and kali. I invite him later to demonstrate tin tal, if he wants. So there is 2 qualities that are also expressed when we fold the tal with the hands. And this is using clapping and waving. So kalis are signaled by waving the hand, and tali by clapping with the hand. So if we play tin tal, that would be clapping and then waving, clapping again, and going back to the sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, back to the sound. That's the way of following that. Of course, this can be played at very different tempo. So here we have 10 matras per minute, but that can be played much faster. For example, let's put it in 180. 1, 2, 3, right? Or can be also played very slowly. Depending on the composition. Yeah. And going back to the sound. Yeah. So this is the idea of tal. So until here, this is the basic conceptual meaning of tin tal. This cycle of 16 matras grouped into 4 groups of 4 matras each. The first 2 tali, then kali, then tali again. You see the symmetry between the tali and kali here. Right? So this is the conceptual meaning of the tal. But then the tal is performed, this is the way of clapping and waving, is bring into sound by this instrument, the tabla, these drums that we have here. You see, it's a pair of drums, the right one hand called dayan and the left hand called bayan. So when the tabla performs the rag, it does it in this way. So each matra is performed by a specific stroke of the tabla. That's signaling the progression of the tabla. At this point, I would like to invite Amit Mishra, if he doesn't mind, to demonstrate the basic teka of the tal. This combination of balls, it means word, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
so, Mr. Amit Mishra, so please welcome. So, so these balls are, perhaps could you pronounce the teka?
It's like dha, then, da, dha, then, da, dha, ten, da, then, da, dha, then, da. then, da, da, then, da, da, then, da, da.
Yeah. So these syllables are onomatopoeias of the sounds that the tabla makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perhaps you could show us how
Sure.
these syllables correspond to the actual sounds of tabla.
Yeah, of course. Why not? It's like da, then, da, da, then, da, da, then, da. And we play lots of variation in between actually.
We could follow the tab, and he will getting far from the teka and doing more complex things. Yeah. Excellent, thank you. So, tabla has been performed into different schools called Kalana, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And perhaps Amit could introduce this concept of
Yeah, actually, in 18th century when these instruments came, that's what we believe by the guy Amir Khusroji. He started the first style of tabla. He called it Delhi Gharana because he was in Delhi. So he gave the name of the place to his own style, and then after the other maestro had invented, I mean the gharana means like the composition is different, the fingering is different to play the compositions, and they had some rules of their own school. So we have 6 different style in India. First is Delhi Gharana, second is Lucknow Gharana, third is Punjab, fourth is Farrukhabad, fifth is Ajrada, and the 6th Gharana from where I belongs, it's called Banaras Gharana. It's from Varanasi. And the interesting fact is that that's the only Gharana is made by a Hindu guy. So that Gharana have lots of chanting, lots of composition which is composed on the Lord Shiva or Vishnu or Ganesha, and it have the influence of Hinduism, of the temples and all. So
would you like to perhaps demonstrate different?
yeah, basically it's the compositions, the way they make the composition. Some compositions like only like we have the words of dhere dhere kititaka. So some gharanas have more use of dhere dhere kititaka, and also the difference of they use more with 2 fingers to play tabla actually, like these 2. But if you go to Banaras, we use these 2 and single one like. So it's more powerful in the Banaras style what we have. And then after, of course, their own compositions, which is like, it's so many compositions they have for their own school, and for Banaras we have a different. But nowadays everybody play every different schools and try to get it from there, whatever good compositions we have, and we try to play that, of course, and we love to play that. So
thank you so much. During the concert, we're going to have a lot of team time.
Sure.
So do you mind if we practice again?
Yeah.
The team time for a little while.
With
Please pay
everyone.
attention to his left hand when he comes to the kali.
yeah.
So the left part of the tabla is mute. somehow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I use the close left actually. When we say dha, it comes, actually it's two different words. This we call ta and this we call ghe. So when it comes together, then it's called dha. So dha, dhin, dha, dha. So if you say dha or you say dhin, dhe, it's all same. It's just the pronunciation is different. So dha, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dha, tin, tin. For tin, close left, we use it to close the sound. Like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 10, dha, dha, din, dha, dha, tin, ta, ta, din, dha, dha. Can everybody say it together?
Let's try to follow.
Let's try.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, dha, din, dha, dha, din, dha, dha, tin, ta, ta, din, dha, dha, din, dha, dha, din, dha. Da kita taka dari kita taka dha, din, dha, dha. Da kita taka dari kita taka ta, kita taka dari kita taka dha, ti, dha, kita taka ta, kita taka ta dha ti dha, ta dha ti dha, ta dha ti dha. Da kita ta kita na kita ta kita kita da kita na kita dari kita da na kita dari kita da, kita dari kita din na kita dari kita da. That's how we work. Da, dha, tin, ta, ta, din, dha, dha, din, da, dha, din, da, dha, din, dha, tin, ta. Din, da, ta kita dha. And then we do different kind of the laikari, we call like double, triple of the same beat and try to come on the first beat. Da, can everybody keep? Tin, ta, ta, din. The double of this. Da, din, da, din, da, da, tin, ta, ta, din, da, da, din, da, da, din, da, da. Da din da 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 din da da din da da din da da din da din da 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 din da 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 da So we keep one kind of like the whole avartan, it's going on, and then we go on different layers of the rhythm cycles.
Then just to finish, I'm sorry to there is this concept of leia, which is we showed before, that the different tempo that the tal can be played, which is vilambit, slow, madhya, which is medium tempo, and trut, which is all this is
Rapido.
And rapido, fast. We've been playing so far madhya, I'd say.
See.
Yeah. So can you show very briefly vilambit and trut, and then we'll move on to.
Yeah. Vilambit is like dha, then, then, dha, dha, then, dha, dha, tin, ta, ta, then, dha, dha. That's a vilambit. And Madhyalaya we already did. So Drut is like da din din da 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 da. And it's up to you how much you want to go. Da din din da da din din da da din din da din din da 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 din da da din da da din da da. So it's
okay, so we'll listen to this during the concert. Thank you very much, Amit, for your help with the So this was the concept of tal. All this was this single tal, tin tals. Of course, Indian classical music use many tals. So now that I hope you have the general idea of what a tal is, now you can have you have these tals in our website, and you can learn about new tals the same way. For example, if we have hectare. No, sorry, I wanted to show hectare. Yeah. Oh, sorry, moving the wrong way here. This is hectare. Now you see the sum is always there. Now we have 12 mantras, 12 temples, which is grouped in 6 vibhag. And then the first is tali, kali, tali, kali, tali, tali. Right? So they could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Right? And then the theka is a bit more complex. But the idea would be okay. So this is already available for you in our website if you want to continue exploring the concept of tals. And we have also recordings where the tal annotating and the cursor showing how the tal progresses in those recordings. So this was the concept of tal, and this, let's say, is the railways where the rag is driving, is progressing through the road that tal is marking. I'm halfway to say. If I say something mistakenly, please correct. So rag is a very hard concept to explain. I'll try to approach it here briefly. Rag is said to, the etymological meaning of the word is said to be that which gives color, and by that charming to the senses. So it's a way to creating different colors with music, with melody. And all the elements that are needed with singing or one instrument to create these states of color, or different senses to our perceiving. So the material with which the rag works is the concept of swar. It's closely related to our concept of note, but it's much more rich than that. So rags in Indian classical music are composed of these 7 swars. These are the 7 swars that each of them has a name: Shatya, Rishabh, Gandhar, Madhyam, Pancham, Thaivat, and Nishad. And they develop also a brief way of using them, which is so-called, and this is the first one. So we go for Satya, Rishabh, Gandhar, Madhyam, Pancham, Thaivat, Nishad. There's a short form of them that forms this sargam that is similar to our concept of solfege. When they learn melodies when a melody is learned in this tradition, they use this syllables here. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. That are probably similar to our do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si in our tradition. Out of these 7 swar, there is one that is the crucial one, which is the basis one, which is this one here, the satya or the sa. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, satya means that which gives birth to 6, to the other 6 swar. So, and this is a very important concept, that all the swars, all the melody, everything that sonically happens during a performance of Indian classical music, all comes from this sound, from the sound of the satya, of this swar. This important swar is played by this instrument, the tampura. It's a lute with 4 strings. You can see here the pegs. They have 4 strings. It's a big instrument like that. And the purpose of this instrument is to provide this satya, this ground from which all the melody comes from, right? And it is very curious, this instrument. It has no frets. It's only, you don't modify the sound. You always play the open strings. And you see, this is the bridge called jivari, and they have these little threads here called jiva, that I think means life. Is that correct? So when you see this bridge is very flat, so that gives a special vibration to the strings. And when you put these little threads under, between the string and the bridge, it gives, it opens up all the harmonics of the string. So this is a very, very rich sound. And the idea is to, from this harmonic to derive all the swars that are performed in the rag. We don't have a tampura here. We have this beautiful little thingy that used to be used in performance, and that gives the sound of tampura. This is what this instrument plays constantly, is keeping this nurturing soil to the melody. Right? So it's this 4 string which plays the notes pa, sa, 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 which equivalent to the sol, do, do, do in our, if we use our solfege. And always important is to keep the satya, the sa. It's so important that this instrument is playing during the whole performance, with keeping this backing, nurturing soil, as I said, to the whole melody. So yeah, this instrument is quite heavy and voluminous to carry around. So they developed these beautiful machines. But now most artists, especially when they travel, they use a very well. Yeah.
Apple tampura.
Yeah. In the cell phone, that I've heard that this sounds even better than this machine.
We have in Apple, which is better.
Yeah.
I mean, so which is better than this, not to that tampura, because that resonance what you get from the tampura, that's amazing.
Unique.
It's unique actually.
Yeah.
But it works somehow.
Yeah. So that's
and you have Swar Mandal, everything.
Yeah. So excellent. So today in the concept we will be using an app.
One of them.
Yeah. But imagine someone behind playing this beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
And it's not a drum, as it is usually translated. It's just the origin of everything that's happening.
Actually.
So everything is taken from this sound because it's very rich in harmonics. So you can listen to all the notes, all the swars in the rag from that sound. So that's a very fundamental instrument in Hindustani classical music. So, as I said, these are the swars. This is a simplified form that are taken from that from the satya, from the tampura, and the form which is called the sattak, which is a concept that could be equivalent to our scale. So as you see, the notes are put it in the relative distance between them, and you see there is blank spaces. So this is the melodic distance between them. So you see that there is a tone between this and then a semitone, roughly speaking. So these swords have also modified versions, yeah, that fill these gaps. That could be equivalent or similar or come to semblance the bemol or here the flat and the sharp in our way of understanding music. Yeah, so it's a modified version of the 7 swords that form the rag. Okay, so this is the material that the work. And then there is these two, the satya, of course, which is the fundamental, and the pa that don't have alterations, they're always taking the same, they're not modified. Okay, so as I said, this is the basic material with which a rag is built. So, what is then a rag? So, rag is a set of swords. Different rags select different sets of swords. Now we will see an example later. Then from this set of swords, there is some of them that are more important than others. There is these two words. It's not important the word. The thing is that there is some swords out of these sets here that have some structural importance in the performance. Yeah. Then the way these swords are performed when they are going up or down in the melody have some specific traits in each rag. And then rags have specific ways of using the set of swords in characteristic movements or motifs or phrases. Yeah? And then there is many other components to that. For example, the motion that, to which the rag is associated. Or the samai, which is the time of the day where it's best to perform this rag, or where the rag conveys its maximum feeling. Yeah. So let's illustrate this concept with the rag that we'll be listening today, which is rag jaw. So this rag takes from out of these 12 possible swords, these ones here. So we have sa, we have two versions of the ga, the standard ga and let's say the modified ga, which is a lower ga. We have the ma, then the pa, and the modified version of the ni. So this is this, if we represent it this way, oh, this is rag jaw. So we have here sa, and then the two versions of rag. Now we'll see why we have two versions of the same sword, ma, pa, ni, and sa. Okay. Okay, so out of this set of swords, the body, the most important, structurally speaking, sword would be ma, and then the second, in this case, is the same as is the sa. So different rags might have different importance. No, right? So in the case of rag jaw, when the melody goes up, it is performed in this way. Sa, ga, the standard ga, ma, pa, the modified ni, and sa. But when the melody goes down, yeah, so we have sa, ni, pa, ma, and then we have the modified ga. So we have one ga going up, which is the high version of it, and then we have a lower version of the ga when the melody is played down. At this point, I would invite Venkatesh to demonstrate it with the flute, with the bansuri, with a little tool that is a prototype. We've been researching how to illustrate rag. Please stand. Let's welcome. So we've been developing a tool with the idea of helping listeners follow the melody of the rag. And we have a prototype that we're using for first time today to do that live, in lifetime. So far we have analysis of the recording, and then we use the analysis, and then things works nicely. Now we're going to try live with this prototype, so it might be some little mistakes, please forgive us. So here is the subtack of rag jaw. Can you play just sa to see that this is working? Oh, sorry, microphone should be on, of course. Okay. So the scale goes up and down. I hope you saw how the different gas are used according. Now it's jumping because I'm talking. When the different direction of the melody is moving. So another characteristic of the rag is this characteristic movements of phrases of melodies, and there is no close fixed repertoire of these characteristic movements. So I thought that the best way to see that is just let Venkatesh play a small, is it a composition called Chalan? Yeah, it's just a way to explore the rag, to explore the essential meaning of, is that correct?
It's material that can be further developed, like the basic forms, basic structures that can be, Chalan, Pakad,
Because Jod have both combinations.
Problem with Jor is it's too fast for our technology.
Jod can play also slow.
Okay, so now the idea is to not just to see. Now we saw the sword, the position of the sword. What is characteristic of the rag is how the melody moves between this sword. So try to see the movement, and this is what is characteristic of the rag. Obviously, we have a lot to improve yet with this, but I hope that that it helped you to follow the progression of the rag and which swar we're playing and the relative importance of each of them and the movement of the melody around them. We're running out of time for the talk, so we'll listen to this rag during the concert. I just, since we have Venkatesh here, he'll be playing also Bhairavi, so just to bring you back to the initial idea of rag that which colors the senses. Just we'll listen to this Bhairavi. Let me check Bhairavi. Yeah. So we have now a new set of swars with different dispositions. So just I let him play a chalan and just try to sense this different color, if you want, of this different emotion that that the rag brings in comparison with Joe. When we perform this in the concert, he will play a tune, which is a light piece to conclude, usually at the end of a recital of Hindustani classical music. And then Bhairavi is played in a special version called
Mr. Bhairavi. So basically, there are more colors in this. So we basically make use of all the notes and in a very,
yeah. So all the possible notes in the swar are used in this case. So I think we don't have time, but you listen to that at the end of the concert. Thank you very much, Venkatesh, for helping me. So I just passed here. So I hope that with this very brief presentation, you now have a clearer idea of how the music works and what are the basic concepts in this music rack and tal. Of course, this is very short, very concise. If you want to continue exploring yourself at home, you have all these tools and material available online in our website. So you can make use of that. And please give us as much feedback as you want, because we need to know what you think of those. And we'll do now a short break, and we'll start the concert at 7:30. So thank you very much for coming, and see you now.